the tragic story of Leslie Reeves and Chris Smith. In November 2021, Leslie and Chris went on their first date in Farmersville, Illinois, which ended in a horrific shooting. After an enjoyable evening, they returned to Chris's home, where an intruder, later identified as Robert Bobby J. Tarr, Leslie's ex-boyfriend, broke in and ambushed them. Leslie was shot and killed, while Chris was seriously injured but survived.
A peaceful town, a young girl full of dreams, and a seemingly harmless date that turned into an unimaginable tragedy. A missing persons report was filed at the Atlanta Police Department headquarters. The young woman, Amanda, left her home the previous afternoon and could no longer be contacted. At 10 a.m., in the quiet neighborhood of Lawrenceville, a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, Carol and Jim Davis were in a state of extreme worry. Their daughter, Amanda Davis, had left for a date with someone she met online at 6 p.m. the previous day, but hadn't returned or been reachable since. Amanda Davis, 22 years old, was an only child in the family. "Amanda is very well behaved and gentle," said her mother. "She never stays out without informing us, and she's never stayed out overnight. This time she went to meet someone she knew only through a dating app. She texted us, saying she'd be home a bit late. We waited, but there was no further news. Her phone rang until this morning, but no one answered, and then it turned off. We have no idea what happened." Meetups, especially those arranged online, come with many risks. No matter how much you chat with someone online, you can't observe them directly or know about their relationships. Pretending to be nice is even easier than buying something at a store. Online scams are on the rise, as are crimes related to new or online relationships, both in frequency and severity, as modernization progresses. The police recognize the seriousness of the situation after hearing Amanda's parents' account. If her family has no prior conflicts and the girl went missing after saying she'd be home, it defies normal behavior. Her closest friends have confirmed she's not with them, and her school verified that Amanda didn't attend despite an important presentation this morning. Meeting someone for the first time through social media is highly risky, they said. Detective James and his partner, Detective Lisa, asked for details on Amanda's date, including the person she met, their meeting location, and any information Amanda shared with her parents beforehand. At the police station, Carol wept beside her husband. Amanda mentioned someone named David Smith. She said he was kind, funny, and intelligent, but sometimes busy. They'd been chatting for a few months, messaging each other every night. He seemed friendly and perfect. But now I can't see him in the same way, Carol sobbed. Jim, more composed, provided further details. She left around 5:20 p.m. yesterday. They planned to watch a movie, have dinner, and walk before returning. Amanda said she might be a bit late but would be home by 11 p.m. because of her presentation this morning. Around 10 p.m., we received a message from her saying she'd be home soon, but might be slightly delayed due to a minor issue. We waited past midnight and grew concerned. I called her, but there was no answer. She stopped responding after that. Amanda had only mentioned a new cafe on the West Boulevard as the meeting location, but hadn't specified the name. However, Jim was certain it was in her messaging app on the home computer. Detective Lisa checked Amanda's room for more clues. The messaging app, though highly secure, showed only a nature image as the profile picture for the boyfriend, with no face for identification. Their chat history displayed the meeting details, providing a lead. In cases like these, if something terrible truly happened and no quick action is taken, clues can easily go cold due to the time elapsed since the disappearance. They located the cafe, and Lisa felt hopeful upon spotting traffic cameras on the main road and surveillance cameras inside the cafe. Staff couldn't recall Amanda's presence, so they checked an extended video recording. After nearly half an hour of footage, they finally spotted her. Amanda had indeed met her online date there, though a bit later than planned. The security footage showed Amanda and David sitting at a window-side table chatting. Amanda appeared at ease, but David's gaze held an inexplicable tension. His fingers twisted uneasily, unlike his friendly persona from their chats. Detectives Harris and Lisa watched the footage intently, their expressions somber. After identifying the boyfriend's face and obtaining his information from their messages, the police realized that the information was entirely false. David Smith was someone else, not the person who had met Amanda at the cafe. The situation started to seem serious. Meanwhile, the investigators discovered the location from which Amanda had last sent a message to her parents. She sent the message from an abandoned park on the western outskirts of the city. Something ominous had happened. The park was desolate and, more importantly, completely out of the way for Amanda to return home. Why was she brought there, and who was this person pretending to be David? As a search team was dispatched to comb the abandoned park for any trace of Amanda, Detective James decided to locate the real David Smith to find out who was behind her disappearance. Searching Amanda's social media, David Smith's profile was quickly found, although his photos only showed his back. Examining the photos closely, they revealed that the real David was a student at a local university. It's likely the suspect obtained this individual's personal information and everyday photos to deceive Amanda, so there's a strong chance he lives or frequents the same areas. Detective Lisa found David Smith easily on campus, as he matched the suspect's description, an appearance that scammers often use. After a few questions, they determined that David knew nothing about Amanda. Upon viewing the picture Detective James provided, he identified the person as Kevin Johnson, a reserved and somewhat eccentric classmate with whom he had shared a few classes. David assisted by contacting a professor to obtain Kevin's details. The school provided Kevin Johnson's information, locating his address near Amanda's home. This suggested a premeditated plan to approach the victim. If no trace of Amanda was found, they planned to summon him immediately. The search team continued combing the vast, derelict grounds of the abandoned park. By evening, 24 hours after Amanda's disappearance, they found her phone in the middle of the park, and soon after, her bracelet, stained with dried blood and hidden among fallen leaves. Tragic events may have occurred, and likely more severe than anticipated. The most crucial task now is to find Kevin and make him reveal the truth. An arrest warrant was issued, and the police arrived at Kevin's house, hoping to find Amanda alive. Kevin was indeed implicated in the case. His dark, unlit home was surrounded by a special task force. After 3 rings, a middle-aged woman opened the door, surprised to see the police. It was Kevin's mother. Kevin isn't home. He left 2 days ago. Occasionally he doesn't come home, but he always returns safely. He's a quiet and polite child. Could there be a mistake? She was in disbelief, but her confusion grew as she watched the cafe surveillance footage showing Kevin with Amanda. This young woman disappeared with your son. We found her phone and a blood-stained bracelet in an abandoned park. With this information, Kevin's mother cooperated with the police. Kevin's phone was still connected, though he didn't answer. After their conversation, investigators gathered details on Kevin's interests and his communication style with his mother to create a plan. Nervously, Kevin's mother composed a message provided by the police and sent it to him. If he replies, we can pinpoint his location. Shortly after he responded, a message was received, and the location was pinpointed to a hotel near an amusement park. The task force set out immediately. Stay alert, he may hold the victim hostage. Move in swiftly and tactically. The hotel was surrounded, and staff confirmed Kevin's name on the guest list. His room was on the second floor, with a window opening to a narrow back street. A team positioned outside, while others approached his room. Hearing the doorbell, Kevin cautiously peered through the peephole, and, seeing a staff member placed as a decoy, he began to open the door. The police seized him before he could react. Kevin was arrested, shocked and unable to resist, but Amanda was not in the room. Security footage showed Kevin had come from the underground garage, where police found his parking card and the vehicle he rented after meeting Amanda. Searching the car, they made a grim discovery. Amanda's body lay in the trunk, with severe head trauma and multiple stab wounds. Her ankles were dislocated, and her body bore bruises from a fierce struggle. The weapon was also in the trunk, untouched. When Amanda's family was informed, her mother collapsed in shock, and her father tried to confront Kevin, but was held back by police. Kevin, trembling in the interrogation room, confessed to the murder. "Why did you kill Amanda?" they asked. "I never meant to hurt her, but we argued and I lost control. I just wanted a normal relationship, but she refused. We seemed perfect for each other, but as we talked, she realized I wasn't David Smith, only Kevin. Why couldn't she accept me? I thought she would be different, gentle and happy, but she wasn't at all like she should have been. She drove me insane, and I don't remember what happened next." In the end, Kevin Johnson was charged with murder, paying the price for his warped mindset. Amanda lost her life by trusting someone without recognizing the lurking danger. Her family's grief was unimaginable. While online dating offers new opportunities, it also holds hidden dangers. This tragedy serves as a warning for everyone to approach personal connections with caution and prioritize safety.
The tragic events surrounding the deaths of Leslie Reeves and the severe injury of Chris Smith on their first date in Farmersville, Illinois, in November 2021. Leslie, a fitness instructor, and Chris, a local resident, had met online and decided to go out on the eve of Thanksgiving. After enjoying their evening, they returned to Chris's home where they were ambushed by an intruder, later identified as Leslie's ex-boyfriend, Robert "Bobby" J. Tarr. Driven by jealousy, Tarr reportedly tracked down Leslie and entered Chris's home after midnight. He then shot both Leslie and Chris, fatally wounding Leslie and seriously injuring Chris, who ultimately survived. Evidence, including phone records and messages, linked Tarr to the crime, showing that he had been near the location at the time of the shooting. This evidence, combined with his motive of jealousy, led to his arrest and charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder.